Headless Horseman and Freddie and a lot of the other monsters that, like, we have Monster House, okay? It's like a frat house, but it's with monsters. And you're just...
Great.
And you've retired. You've all retired. You're done with the haunting kids and decapitating people stuff. Alex, as you know, it is still the spookiest of seasons. In fact, this is probably the last segment that you're going to be listening to before Halloween. So
I'm not going to be listening to it.
Okay, well, anybody who actually enjoys the show, which is not Alex, will probably be listening to this before Halloween. So we are going to do yet another spooky adventure thing. However, this time we have gotten a suggestion from Clayton Calix, who saw our last video and messaged something that I wanted to explore. And Clayton Calix writes, "It would be interesting to see you two come up with a story with some unique characters throughout film history, with characters like The Thing, The Blob, Slender Man, etc. Either as something the adventurers have to take care of, or they are the adventurers and they have to fulfill some quest given to them by someone like, say, Jigsaw." Well, obviously the second one is what we're going to be talking about today. Just making your movie monsters into the adventurers. And
I feel like that could be interesting. That's like a monster campaign, but with iconic figures, or
yeah,
I guess you could make your own somewhat similar iconic figures, but
certainly. So what we're gonna do, I think, would be interesting is we're both gonna kind of like create, like take one of these characters and see what we're gonna do for a storyline.
Sure. I've got a character in mind. Do you?
Well, as you probably noticed, I kind of have my casual wear Freddie uniform on at the moment.
Yeah, you're missing the right pair of gloves and sweatshirt, but it's fine.
It's orange. It's close enough. It's again, I said this is casual. This is Freddie at a dinner party. You know,
you go.
I'm trying to look a little dressed down. This is casual, formal casual.
I would let Freddie carve my ham.
Yes, exactly. He is definitely on the buffet line. So
it's also called dress casual, I believe.
Dress casual. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Dress casual is what we're going for Freddie. Anyway, so I was going to just do Freddie Kreuger for me. Who were you thinking about?
Oh, well, since it is spooky season, I was thinking of the Headless Horseman, the rider of Sleepy Hollow.
Ah, excellent. So, I guess now that we've kind of figured out who we're going to be, what is going to be the adventure quest?
Well,
I think yours is kind
of... Here's the first thing. It's,
yeah.
I think in doing this, you'd have to find characters who aren't just, like, superpowered. You'd have to find something that's got a flaw. Obviously, playing a character that is a legendary monster, they gotta have some weakness. They can't just be all powerful, because it's, again, if you're doing this in like D&D, you'd have to find stats for them. Their adventure needs to be something akin to recovering all the candy from the trick-or-treaters.
Great.
The town has celebrated Halloween, and these monsters didn't take kindly. They disrespected their mothers, for instance.
Oh no.
They danced on their graves, maybe? The teenagers egged the house that we were living in.
So now we've got to come out and we've got to stop those darn kids in their dreams.
Yeah, those meddling kids.
Yeah, I have to stop those meddling kids in their dreams, though. That's the thing. I will say that you were talking about not being all-powerful. I think the characters we've chosen will lend themselves to that, because Freddie can only work in dreams. And the Headless Horseman only comes out during a full moon? Is it, or
I don't
it comes
remember.
out at night? I think it's just.
All I know is that he can't cross water.
He can't cross water, and he forever has to look like Christopher Walken.
He's got no head, just a pumpkin.
That's just a pumpkin. Yeah.
Just a pumpkin.
Maybe he looked like Christopher Walken too much, and then he decided I want to be a pumpkin instead.
I think the interesting thing here is, like, you got these characters, and you need to figure out, like, what they're gonna do. Like, are we just gonna go murder some kids? teenagers. Sorry, not kids. No children killing in Bethesda games allowed.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's also part of the lore. This is actually a Bethesda game.
And it's in the Scooby-Doo universe,
It's
those meddling kids need to get what's coming to them.
That's right. Scooby-Doo Field. Great. Anyway, so so what we got to do is we got to put on the monster masks that are not our faces, and then we've got to go spook them.
Oh, great. So I'm going to put on a Christopher Walken mask, and you can put on a Ronald Reagan mask.
Freddie often donned political figures masks, I think, in the game.
Did he?
In the movies. I don't remember. I don't think I have ever literally watched a Friday the 13th movie.
Well, it was literally
life.
Just Friday the 13th. You should have.
Oh, yeah,
Missed
that's true.
opportunities.
Missed opportunities. Really should have taken the opportunity while I could. Except then I'd have to watch the freaking Friday the 13th movies.
I think it would actually be more interesting, though, to have the players have to deal with one of these monsters. Not because I don't like the idea of playing a monster, but because I think it would be more of a challenge to deal with the monster as the players' characters. We're not going to use Slenderman as an example, sorry, even though you said film. No, Slenderman is not. We're not going to consider that anything to do with film. It's YouTube only, and then there was a movie they were going to make.
Movie that they made.
Did they make it?
They
or
did
they cancel it?
No, they made it. With what was the actress's name? I want to say it's Joey King.
I don't know.
She's internet famous for the most part. Has a very big fan. Anyway, they made. I think it was just called Slender, and it was
terrible, right?
From what I've heard, yes.
But also, Slenderman died out years ago after kid got stabbed a bunch of times because of that. So
There was also Slender 2 was a game where there was not just Slender Man. There were
so many Slender games.
Yeah, there was also other creatures that came after you or whatever. So
you could easily defeat the Slenderman. You just have your party have to collect 8 pages. You have them separate and go out there, and there's only one Slenderman. So
isn't this Myst now?
Yeah, it's not Myst. Except you're being chased by the Slenderman.
It's Myst, but with Slenderman. Okay, that's cool. You could have Freddie and the Headless Horseman trying to run away from Slenderman.
Great. I'm sure they'd be scared. They'd be like, "What's your deal?" And you'd be like, "I'm wearing a suit."
I don't know why I said it's Slenderman. Sounds like I just met my new accountant, Jim Slenderman. Who's Slenderman and Slenderman, attorneys at law.
He does wear a suit.
Yes, he does. He does wear a suit. He's a professional.
Yeah.
He's a professional.
Something like professional creep.
Yes, he sure is. Unlike our characters who are perfectly normal and
my
have
character
never done anything wrong. The Headless Horseman did nothing wrong.
I don't know what he did actually. Wasn't he like a Civil War vet or something?
He was I want to say he was a hussar, and he got his head blown off by a cannonball.
Oh, good. Good job.
Freddie, though, died in one of a myriad of ways, depending on what movie you watched, apparently. But I think traditionally we figure that he died in a fire, which is why it was all burnt up, and then he decided to revisit revenge upon all of the citizens by haunting their kids in their dreams.
Yeah.
Getting to them where they wouldn't be safe,
Horror movies are strange. A lot of the monsters and creatures and things like that are kind of weird.
I don't think that you normally come up with, here's the movie monster, his name is Doug, and it's just a guy, and he has a name tag that says, my name is Doug.
I think in a lot of ways
here to murder you.
I feel like that could be even scarier or creepier because you don't know if you're got a serial killer living amongst you.
That's true.
So it's like Dexter. You've seen Dexter.
Yeah, I've seen some Dexter.
Yeah. And he's a serial killer, and he's just living a normal life with everybody, and his hobby is murdering murderers. Vigilante style.
It would be interesting. I'm sure that they've done it at some point, but the idea of a shapeshifter that was a serial killer, like a changeling. I think that wasn't that a quest line in Witcher 3, I want to say?
I don't know.
One of the
Probably.
shapeshifters was like a criminal, and he had to keep tracking him down because he kept putting himself in other faces.
I feel like you do the bait and switch for a mission, an adventure, where it's there's somebody out there killing, maybe they're draining the blood and killing it, something vampire, or there's some monster your party needs to take care of, and they find the person who seems like the culprit. Everything points to them.
Yeah.
But they're not the culprit, it's a bait and switch. It's actually this guy in town who's just like the local butcher.
Okay, I got an idea off of that. Okay, so Headless Horseman and Freddie and a lot of the other monsters that, like, we have Monster House, okay? It's like a frat house, but it's with monsters. And you're just...
Great.
And you've retired. You've all retired. You're done with the haunting kids and decapitating people stuff. You're done with the beheadings. You're done with the wars. You're done with the haunting people in their dreams and the weird traps. And you're sitting there in Monster House. There's a weird murder that happens somewhere in town. Immediately, when that happens, the whole town determines that it must have been one of you. And so the townspeople decide that they're going to get their pitchforks and their torches, and they're coming to your house now, and they're coming to kill all of you now. So now you got to figure
what you're
out.
telling me is,
yeah.
You look out your window, instead of the angry townspeople with pitchforks, it's the angry monster town people with pitchforks.
Yeah, exactly.
Frankenstein's just out there like, I didn't think it would have to come to this.
No. Monster House is the only place where the monsters live. The rest of it is just a regular town.
Oh, no, I think it's funnier if the whole town is monsters.
Oh, okay.
And you see just like Frankenstein's monsters out there with like Dracula and a bunch of other people, pitchforks and fire, and they're like, we didn't think we'd have to be the ones to do this.
Justice for Wolfman.
Yeah, justice for Wolfman. Someone shot him with a silver bullet.
Yeah. We know you had silver bullets, Headless Horseman. And so then they come to you, and now it's both you're on the run, because now you've got a bunch of people with pitchforks and torches that are coming after you. And they're actually, it'd be funny if they were all just extras from the Thriller video.
Go.
All of the townspeople are just, and all of a sudden you know that they're coming for you because you hear the music, and you look out and they're doing the Thriller, but they have the pitchforks and torches. Anyway, so you have two objectives now. The first objective is get away from mob that is trying to kill you, because there are too many of them. And then the second part is figure out who the actual murderer was. That's the
Wolfman all along. He faked to death.
Wolfman faked his death for the insurance money.
Yep, and he blamed it on you guys.
And you know
because you picked on him once.
You know how the Wolfman figured that he would get away with that? He found a way to keep from changing back ever again, so he could live as his human persona, so that you wouldn't see the Wolfman again.
There you go.
Yeah. Now you
the
have
body disappeared.
Yeah, now you have to figure out, oh, maybe that's just what happens with werewolves, who knows? That's the problem, is that then you just have this one regular dude that's just living in the town with all the monsters. I'm saying, you could just have regular people in this town, and that would be funny too. I just like the idea of, like, the regular mild-mannered town becoming the monster that you have to destroy, with their pitchforks and torches outside. That literally the average citizens are now the problem. That feels like a Twilight Zone episode that we're building now.
There you go.
What do you think the resolution to all of that is? Do you find out there wasn't a single
whole
bullet?
Town down.
This can't be the solution to every campaign, Alex.
Sure can.
But here's the problem. If Frankenstein is one of the monsters, fire bad.
Well, Frankenstein's monster, yeah.
Yeah, the Frankenstein monster, who occasionally just goes by Frank. Anyway,
he was fired bad, but torching this town.
Yeah, see, it wouldn't make much sense if he was part of the pitchfork and torch crew, because he'd get too scared. Yeah, he'd be angry at his own hatred. Other monsters.
Accident lights himself on fire, becomes an effigy.
Oh, perfect. Look, Frankenstein died so that we could live. That's
Somebody lit Frankenstein's monster's house on fire.
Yeah.
While he was in it.
Oh, God.
What?
Maybe Frankenstein is the victim. I think Frankenstein's monster is the one that died, and then you had to figure out who took him. And it turns out that the person who actually did it was someone who was a previous owner of one of the body parts, who's a zombie now.
There you go.
Zombie that's missing an arm. It's like, that was my
Or
arm.
not even a zombie, just a person that just had their arm lopped off.
Yeah, just a person who had his arm
Anyways.
left off. And it's like, yeah, that was my hitting arm. They took my. I love to hit things.
That was my butt scratching arm. Thank you.
That's exactly
Give it
right.
back.
They stole my butt. They took my. Frankenstein took my butt. I used to use that to light farts on fire, and I don't have a butt anymore. Why did they do that? I didn't agree to a butt transplant.
That's what they make assless chaps for.
That's the name of the campaign. A group of assless chaps. That's the name of the adventure party. The assless chaps.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
There's been a booty bandit, and we mean literally someone's been stealing our butts.
The quest for booty. We gotta get it. So, Clayton Calyx, I hope that was worth it.
You're welcome.
You're
Or thank you?
welcome.
We don't know.
Did you get a cursed
blame
monkey
you.
paw when you made that suggestion? The finger curls up. That's the last one. Anyway, if anyone else has cursed monkey paws that they want to use on us, go ahead. Try it out. Leave a comment down below. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually do something just as ridiculous as this thought experiment on the next episode.